What up, what up, what up, and welcome to the very first episode of Rickle Me Pick. I am your host. I am NR. I'm the creator of NR Originals. Hey, and I brought you this show, Rickle Me Pick, because, all my Rick and Morty fans, if you love Rick and Morty, you love any concept of Rick and Morty, you just love that adult animation, that realistic to animation type, comparison. Hey, this is the spot for you, man. I'm a huge fan. I've been a huge fan of Rick and Morty for a very long time. And, this show right here is, something that I wanted to do for a very, very long time. And I finally got the balls, to get up and do it. So here we are. You know what I mean? This is the very first episode of Rickle Me Pick. Like I said, I am your host, NR, and I will be your host moving forward. As you can see, we got the little, got the baby set up here, as you can see around me. And to my tree lovers out there, happy 420 to you. I decided to bring the show to you today on 420 because I'm a cloud lover and a tree cloud smoker and a tree lover myself. You know what I mean? So, I wanted to bring the show to you today because I just felt like Rick and Morty and 420 just fit perfect together. So, that's where we are. We're here, and the basic concept, man, is this. You know what I mean? Like, we're all getting ready for season 5. All my Rick and Morty fans, we're ready for season 5. We're ready for season 5 to come out. We finally got a date, coming out June 20th. So that's, exciting to us. But, until then, that's still about 9 weeks. You know what I mean? That's 9 weeks from today. So, that's quite a bit for us Rick and Morty fans. And if you're anybody like myself, you don't watch, season 1 through 4 about a million times. I've got the comics. I'm still catching up on a lot of the comics. But yeah, we've gone through this content a million times, and we're ready for something new. So until then, until these 9 weeks pass, my plan here is, we're gonna go through the 10 episodes in season 4. So basically, we're breaking down season 4, and being that there's 10 episodes, and we do an episode of Rickle Me Pick once a week. One of the weeks we're probably just gonna break down 2 episodes into one. You know what I mean? Just so we can, get everything fit in. I'm probably going to do episode 4 and 5 together. I think that's what I've come up with. But this show is going to be more than that. You know what I mean? We're going to break down, like I said, up until season 5 comes out, we're going to break down season 4. We'll talk favorite characters. I got an Instagram page, Rickle Me Pick. You can follow it. I have the links up at the end. We'll follow it. We'll come on there, and we'll come up with ideas. We'll come up with topics and characters that you want to talk about, dimensions you want to talk about. You know what I mean? Foreshadows, metaphors, everything like that. We'll just put it up on there, and then what I'm saying, we're just going to talk about it. So right now, today, what we're going to do is I want to go ahead and break down season 4, episode 1, Edge of Morty, Rick Die Repeat. And this episode, started off season 4, and it was a little different. You know what I mean? It didn't come in with the darkness, you know what I mean, that it normally do, but it did come in with the edginess. In the comedy, it came in with the great metaphors, the great comparisons, and it was overall a great episode, in my book. So let's go ahead and run through a couple clips, because being that this is my first episode, I'm gonna do what I can not to get copy written off. You know what I mean? So until I until I get a few episodes in, you know what I mean, it's gonna be a lot of clip action. You know what I mean? So bear with me. But how are we gonna take it from the beginning of season 4? So they're sitting at the table, dinner table or breakfast table, whatever you want to call it at the time. And Marty's over there being a little perv, all up on Jessica's Instagram, as you can see. And she got a little Margaritaville necklace on. She's only in high school, but she got a Margaritaville necklace on at her grandma's funeral in Florida. So that's just a great comparison right there, just to tell you what kind of you see the hashtag YOLO, Instagram on Nano Life. You know what I mean? So you see you see the mockery on the on the social media life that we live in today. You know what I mean? Everything everybody does, even a sincere moment like a funeral, has to be, a post. And you got to make sure you get them likes, man. You know what I mean? Otherwise, you just don't even matter. So, you know, as they're going on through this breakfast, Rick tells Morty, "Hey, man, what I'm saying, we got to bounce. We got a mission to go on." And Jerry and Beth put the brakes, and let them know, like, hey, you can't just take them no more. You know what I'm saying? You got to start asking. You know what I mean? So he asked Morty, like, real sarcastically, you know what I mean? And Morty's like, yeah, 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 whatever. But now Rick pissed the hell off because he's like, why the fuck I gotta ask? You know what I'm saying? Like, I shouldn't have to ask. You know what I mean? Now he's mad because this is the power shift, coming from season 3, where he took away the family from Jerry in season 3, and now this is the power shift of Jerry, and Beth taking the family back over. So Rick ain't too happy about it. You know what I mean? So boom, they fly down to where they were going, and they get to these crystals. You know what I'm saying? And these are these death crystals. And these death crystals, they help foresee your death. You know what I mean? It'll tell you how you die, but it tells you like a million ways because there's just a million ways you can die depending on the way you live your future. So Rick introduces Morty to these crystals, and he shows him, like, you can see your enemies, you can see what it's going to do. Obviously Rick uses it here to eliminate one of his enemy. But once he introduces Morty to it, obviously the perv Morty is, once again sees Jessica, and he sees his last days with Jessica. Now that's all he's with now. Now he's obsessed. That's all he wants to do. He just wants to be with Jessica. He just, you know what I mean? His dumb ass doesn't, you know what I mean? Doesn't want to listen to nothing like that. So he sticks one of these motherfuckers up in his pocket, man. Him and Rick are fighting. Rick finds out he has it in his pocket. He thought he was masturbating. He said, oh, well. Comes to find out, Morty's over here trying to, live his life out with Jessica. Crashes the fucking, the ship, the spaceship they in. Rick goes flying out the window, and obviously you can see here he's straight dead, rocked to the chest piece, done. So Morty's flipping out, you know what I mean? He still got the crystal in hand, and the hologram that Rick has in place, because normally we've seen Rick die a couple times already, but this is the first time we've seen him die where his soul was, I guess somewhat still alive through the hologram or whatever. So you got the hologram set up, telling Morty, hey, make sure you get the tissues and stuff like that. So while this is going on, Operation Phoenix, which in previous seasons Rick thought he got rid of, he thought he nixed it with the Tiny Rick episode. If y'all remember that, when he got stuck in the Tiny Rick, and once he got out and almost died, he said, fuck this shit. And, went to destroy all that goddamn Operation Phoenix. Well, now he got Operation Phoenix in different timelines. You know what I'm saying? And come to find out, the worst of the worst, he's coming out in these timelines with these fascist, Rick and Mortys, So as you can see, he comes out here, he sees this fascist Morty. He ends up killing the real Rick in their timeline because Morty, wants to take, go back on adventures, but he's this crazy lunatic. So he basically takes Rick hostage, So while we're still in our timeline, we see Morty, and he just doesn't, he's so obsessed with his damn stone, he doesn't want to fucking, bring Rick back. So you got the holograms over here protesting. You see him, wanting to come back, fucking clone your uncle, all this shit. You know what I mean? We will not be ignored. So, it's funny because, it's just, it's just a mockery on today. You know what I mean? It's like anytime you don't want to do something, somebody's going to protest against it. You know what I mean? And this is exactly what the mockery is. Morty don't want to do what his uncle says. So now it's a protest against it. So here we go. We see, the hostage, Rick right here. They, obviously Rick's pissed off because, he's been taken hostage by a Morty. It doesn't matter what kind. It's just a Morty. So, he brings a Meeseeks in because Morty says he wants a Meeseeks, which finally bring Mr. Meeseeks back in, which is, something in Rick and Morty is very uncommon because they don't really bring in too many, repeating characters. They like to, bring, that's one thing about Rick and Morty is, to where some cartoons or animations, they'll only bring in like 10 new characters a season, to where Rick and Morty, they're bringing in like 200, new characters an episode. You know what I mean? So in this one, they brought back Mr. Meeseeks. He sent him out to kill Morty. ends up, they ended up all dying out in space. You know what I mean? So boom, he's dead. Which Operation Phoenix launches another one, which is my favorite. The shrimp, as you can see on the old shirt right here. I got the shrimp Rick. I got the real Rick, the Teddy Rick, the Wasp Rick. You know what I mean? But Shrimp Rick, it's got to be the favorite. They smash on Morty right here. Come to find out, Rick's still fucked though, because it's still, a fascist territory. You know what I mean? And we're gonna get back into this, man. I'm gonna show the clip later on for this scene right here. But as you can see, man, I'm gonna double check the names, but these two gentlemen that are beating the shit out of Rick right here, right? They were actually part of the Nazi Party, or they're mimics of, two characters off the Nazi Party, Heinrich Himmler and Reinhard Heydrich, right? These are two like main dudes that were in the Nazi Party during World War II and during Hitler's time, and they were like both like the architects of the Holocaust. So you know what I mean. Obviously, that's a great comparison right there. You know what I mean. Um, Morty's in school, and by this time, he's just obsessed with the stone. He ain't even he don't even know what the fuck he's doing at this point. It's obvious that the stone is taking control of Morty and making his decisions for him. He gets so cocky that he gets into it with a bully, and smacking him on the face and stuff, telling the bully basically, you ain't gonna do shit. I know you ain't gonna do shit. Well, the bully tells him different. You know what I mean? He actually tells him he has was it a fate to par? Let me double check that. Yeah, which is basically it's like it's a done deal. You know what I'm saying? It's like French or something for like it's a done deal. So once he says that, Morty starts seeing how in the stone he's gonna be killed like 100 different ways by the bully. So now he's freaking the hell out. So he goes home, and at this point in time, this is season 4. So we realize when he's putting everything together, his arsenal together, once he goes home to fight this bully, we realize at this point in time like how much advanced Morty has become with Rick's tools and his experiments and all his gizmos and gadgets, if you will. You know what I mean? So because he puts himself an arsenal together, you know what I mean? He loads himself up. He knows exactly where everything's at. He has the passwords for everything. So as you can see, he's become really, really advanced, man, with Rick and everything he's done, man. So he gears up. Rick is still over here, man, trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. He comes back. He comes back in another dimension. He asks him again, yo, is it a fascist? Is this a fascist dimension? Rick ain't even having it this time. He just says, fuck it. He kills himself and he moves on. So here we are. You know what I'm saying? At this time, Morty's done fucked the bullies up. He done killed them. They got the U.S. government on him. They got the military, National Guard. They got everything on him at this time. So he deploys like a whole army of Meeseeks onto the military. They basically smash him up. He goes at this time into Akira mode. And, we're going to get into what Akira mode and all the comparisons are in a little bit. But basically, he goes into this like lost mode where he's controlled by the gem now. And he's just, using these powers and these weapons, to just destroy everything in his path. Now he's, he made breaking news. So he gives himself up. They ask him, why you gave yourself up, Morty? He said, because he listens to the stone. He does as the stone says. You know what I mean? So now he's in court. Same thing as you can see here, the death crystals. You know what I mean? It's showing a couple deaths. He uses the stone to get out of court by, I guess seeing the judge's, widowed or the judge's dead husband, who basically sends a message through Morty to her, calling her her little sparrow. So she has a breakdown. You know what I mean? She fucking runs out of the court. Case dismissed, and Morty's free. You see, as we as we have over here, what I'm saying, the old fake Nancy Grace, doing what she does best on CMN. Great mockery right here. Wonderful. I love the satire. I love the metaphors. I love just everything about it, man. Like Nancy Grace, CNN, everything, about people like that and, shows like that are just, and they'll take a story just like it says here, Morty Smith, American Monster. I believe, what does she say? She says she doesn't agree with the court decision and there's still the matter of the court of public opinion. And that says so much, man, because somebody can, it doesn't matter if you're innocent or guilty, man. People are still gonna have their opinion on you, and they're gonna judge you however you want to be. So this was a great comparison, man. I laughed the whole time. I was just 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 laughed. So you see, as you can see him, he's all over the news. The world's watching him now. He's national news. Everybody's in awe as he's speaking through the stone. At this time, Morty has no control of his life. He's done. He's all fucking stoned out. You know what I mean? And here we go. Once again, we see Rick. Now he's in another dimension. He's all sketched out because he's already hit, about 3 dimensions, 4 dimensions that were fashionists. And so he comes to this wasp dimension, hits him up, asking him if they're, in the Hitler. Oh, hail! I think he said, "Oh, hail Wasp Hitler." Um, the wasp, Rick of his dimension, you tell him to kick it, you know what I mean? Because Morty's been on some weird fucking some blogs lately. Has him join him for dinner, man. They fucking go out, have a good time. They have a good meal. They're eating they're eating like a larva, was it Goldenfold, substitute, the math teacher. They're eating a large version of him, a larva version of him. And funny, like he hatches out like 3 little eggs, and Morty's like, bonus, you know what I mean? And it's just a funny mockery scene, because it's just like, they're all sitting there eating dinner, you know what I mean, looking all just disgusting and shit, you know what I mean? So the Rick Wasp of that dimension goes, and now he's helping out the C137 Rick. And come to find out, Morty's took all his shit, left him with the Kirkland Meeseek boxes. Anybody who knows anything about Kirkland, anything, it's the basically it's the imitation. You know what I mean? It's the mockery, it's the imitation, or the fake Costco brand type objects and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, that's your Costco brand. That's where Kirkland is sold. So Morty done took all his real shit. Now he just left with his fucking Kirkland Meeseek boxes that he can't do nothing with. You know what I mean? So Rick's all pissed off. So here we go. We see him eating dinner and shit like that. The larva, or the caterpillar, Mr. Goldenfold. They're all sucking up on him. Summer's about to go to some hangout. You know what I mean? Morty got homework to do, so he couldn't go with Rick. It's just a complete fucking mockery, man. So by this time, the fucking actual Morty, he's gone into fucking full Akira mode over here. They use like this feral, what do they call, like the feral liquid, which is basically a play off of, and a knock to the venom feral liquid that he uses. So that was like a shout out to Venom right there. By this time, you know what I'm saying, they fucking fly up on Morty. They all teamed up on him. They fucking grabbing the stone out of his fucking head, because he's done lost his goddamn mind. And the feral fucking liquid ends up taking over on the hologram Rick, and fucking just starts, as you can see, just making him into this, massive Rick. And he just says, fuck it. And he was just like, he's human, or he's alive now. He's not a hologram no more. So he's trying to kill the other Rick, said Morty, because he's like, fuck that. I ain't going back to being a hologram and shit. So the Wasp Rick stabs him in the fucking eyeballs, and like he tells Rick earlier, hey man, we're just some creatures that will stab you in the eyeballs, and then your larva will fucking go into your mouth until your head explodes. And that's exactly what happens here. He fucking stabs Rick in the eyes. You see the fucking larva coming into his mouth and shit, and then fucking boom, the head explodes with a million fucking Wasp Ricks and shit. Everything's done. Fucking, Rick finally gets back his body, and they get him home. Jerry and Beth are freaking the fuck out. Jerry's having his fucking normal fucking breakdown like you do. You know what I mean? Because he's seen, Morty go into Akira mode, like he describes. Touches, puts his finger on Rick, trying to prove a point. Rick tells him he has AIDS now. So Jerry's freaking the hell out, because he's trying to figure out how his tingling finger went from, being okay to now having AIDS. So, that's the Jerry moment of the episode. We come here, and Rick and Morty are celebrating, yeah, 100 more years of this shit, Rick and Morty forever, yeah. See Summer in the back, mocking him and shit. And once Rick gives the playback, he basically hears somebody like, "Oh, why don't you guys go get married and jerk each other off and this and that?" So they go into the classic cussing Summer out. "Fuck you, Summer, you dumb bitch. You ruined episode one. This is season, or yeah, episode one. It's the season premiere. You ruined the season premiere, Summer. You dumb bitch." So it's one of my favorite parts of the episode, man. Like whether they, Summer and Rick are smashing on Morty, or Morty and Rick are smashing on Summer, man, it's always a classic. You know what I'm saying? And then obviously we come to the ending credits, and Morty sees the whole time while this dumbass had the crystal in his pocket, thinking he's going to end life with Jessica. She's talking about she wants to be a hospice worker, and she's just going to go around to all the dead people and tell them she loves them and she's there for them till the end and blah blah blah. And Morty overhears, and now he's all pissed the fuck off. Rick comes out, and he was just like, "Yeah, you want me to pour fire on you while you're fucking full of spiders and shit?" And Rick's like, "All right, I was just gonna have you help me with another mission, but fuck it, let's go. I'm not gonna turn that shit down, man." And then the episode was dedicated to Mike Mandel. And for those who are not really familiar with the animated world, or the comic book world, Mike Mandel, he was a big creator of The Simpsons, or a big creator on The Simpsons, as well as Rick and Morty. And in 2019 he had passed, so they dedicated this episode to him, man. So that was real dope. You know what I mean? So that was basically, season 4 in a nutshell, man. So, the way I like to do it, like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and break this down. You know what I mean? There was a couple, a couple good points, couple high points, a couple takeaways. Like I said, man, my high point of the episode, um, the high point definitely had to be when they were sitting at the table with the wasps. And it's just like, he went through all these dimensions, he did all this crazy shit, and then he gets to fucking, one dimension where they just live like a disgusting lifestyle. You know what I mean? The wasps are just, you know, pointless, nasty creatures anyways. Straight pains in the ass, you know what I mean? But they're living this nasty lifestyle. They're eating this, larva caterpillar on the table, but it's in a like such a calm and loving manner. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just everybody just happy to be there, and everybody's respectful. And so it's just a great, metaphor on life. You know what I mean? And obviously, the biggest takeaway, I think the biggest takeaway in my book for the episode, mm, it would have to be the death crystals, man. Let's see. I think I got some close-ups of the death crystals here. Let's see what we got. Yep. So if you look at like the death crystals, man, like there was so many like different deaths and images that go back to like previous episodes. Like you can see here on this image right here, man. You got the giant squanchy up on the left corner, from the episode where Bird Person got married. It shows Rick got killed by him. Right underneath that to the left, you got Rickle Me, or you got Pickle Rick. No, sorry, Rickle Me Pick. You got Pickle Rick right here, about to get eaten by a dog. The spiders killing one Rick. He's getting burned on the bottom. You know what I mean? So it was a few. I think I got some more Morty. Yup. A couple of Morty over here. No, these are some of the continuation of Rick's. Let's see. We got any Mortys? No, I ain't got no Morty ones. But as you can see, like that was one of my biggest takeaways, man, because they put so many like different. If you go back and just watch it over and over, like I have like a million fucking times, you can actually see like all the damn deaths and everything that they put into these death crystals, man. Is actually pretty dope. Some of the deaths, because like I said, like a lot of them go back to like previous episodes and shit like that. You know what I mean? I think one was like in Vindicators 3, where Morty was getting blown up, or where he was detonating the bomb. That's actually one of the deaths, because he actually fucks it up and actually kills himself and blows up. You know what I mean? So you know what I mean, when next time you're watching it, man, just go back and just look at just freeze pause it on the death crystal scene, and you'll actually see like all the damn fucking deaths from Rick and Morty, and that shit is pretty fucking dope, because you can compare them to all the previous episodes. So we're gonna go, this is my favorite part right here, man. My favorite part, comparison, what my favorite comparison, my favorite metaphor right here. Favorite one, obviously, is, well, the most obvious one was the Akira shit, right? we go back to the Akira Morty. You know what I mean? He got this is where he got the feral liquid on him. For those that are unfamiliar with Akira, it's an anime based off of a manga. It came out, I believe, like 1988, some shit like that. And it basically, it was 1988. Um, there was a nuclear bomb dropped, or a nuclear experiment was happened in Tokyo, and you know it caused like a lot of fucking mutations and deformities. And then they fast forward to 2019, and basically um you had this person who just was part of an experiment, and then it went wrong, and he started creating powers. And he had like it took over his mind, and he just became like this superhuman, to where he eventually just became like a blob. You know what I mean? As you can see here, you know what I mean? That's what Akira ended up turning into, like this humongous blob. And that's what, they basically use Morty for. You know what I mean? Like that's where the concept of this episode came from. He was Akira. You know what I mean? So that was one of my favorite comparisons. But as far as like the scenes go, I want to go back to the shrimp portion of it. Because like I said, that's where they used two basically high officials of the Nazi parties to make a mockery of it. And like I said, these two were two architects, that were constructed the Holocaust. So they put it in as, once he came into this fashion era, he tried to outrun them, but they chased him down, caught him, and beat him in the middle of the street. So, well, we go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and run this clip for y'all. And being that it's 420, I'm gonna handle my business real quick. You know what I'm saying? So y'all go ahead and watch this clip right quick. So like I said, man, it's got to be my most favorite scene, man, because like you seen right there at the end, he was getting all smashed up, eaten up, and that was a straight mockery, man. Goddamn, man. Excuse me. Just hit that weed, man. Got me feeling like this. Ooh, wee. Just had to throw that in there one time, man. All right. So here we are. We back. So we back at it, man. So obviously my favorite character of the episode. Every episode we're gonna take a favorite character. This one, aside from the different million Ricks that they put in there wasn't too many different characters normally like they have. Usually they got the Gronflamites in there, Cronenbergs, or Gazorpians, or something in there. But this time it was just a lot of Ricks, different Mortys, things like that. You know what I mean? So being that it is 420 and it is the first episode of Rickle Me Pick, I got a perfect favorite character, and that's going to be Berkeley Rick. And if for those that don't know who Berkeley Rick is, let me go ahead and see if I got to pick up. There he goes. Berkeley Rick, he was in one of the hologram Ricks when they were in the school. And when all the holograms get told to leave, he's the only one that's still there, talking about make it legal. So being that it is 420, you know what I mean? I'm going to go ahead and say Berkeley Rick is my favorite Rick of this episode, hands down. Being that the situation is what it is, you know what I mean? He's got to be my favorite. All right. So moving right along, man. We getting ready for season 5, and they haven't really gave us much yet, man. We just got the season 5 premiere date, which is June 20th. So that's when we're looking at season 5 to air. And it's been about a year. No, it's been about going on 2 years now since the end of season 4. So season 5 is set to premiere June 20th. Adult Swim also announced that in light of the season 5 premiere, June 20th on Adult Swim will be Rick and Morty Day. So to all the Rick and Morty fans, man, hey, it's crucial you pay attention to like Adult Swim or the social media, if you follow Rick and Morty on Instagram and stuff like that, or Twitter, because they're supposed to have a lot of like behind the scenes content. You know what I mean? They're gonna do like, all types of like, special content, Rick and Morty shit that day on June 20th. So that's gonna be, one we're gonna have to look at. The more information they put on that, the more information I'm gonna put out that I find out. but that's definitely something to look forward to, man. June 20th, season premiere of Rick and Morty, season 5. So that's definitely, man, going to be something we're looking forward to. And in light of today, what we got Death Crystal Morty over here. You know what I mean? We got the Kirkland Meeseeks over here. Just because he's an OG, we got Rickle Me Pick. But we got Shrimp Rick over here. We got Hospice Morty over here. You know what I mean? So we pretty much got the whole cast over here, in the Funko Pop world, man. So I'm glad to see that. As you can see, we got the rest of the cast on the shirt over here, representing for the Rick Squad. Um, to all my Rick and Morty fans, if you haven't checked it out, man, as you can see over here, Volume 1, Rick and Morty, you can catch it on Amazon. They got 5 volumes. I collect the comics, but obviously a lot of them are hard to find. So if you collect, Volume 1 through 5, each one got 10 comics in each one, and I got a bunch of graphic art in it. You know what I mean? Bunch of dope ass shit that you're not gonna see unless you buy the comics or you buy the book, man. So definitely hop on that, man. It's very, very inexpensive, and definitely will not be disappointed. They do link together, I believe, after like episode 14 or issue 14. I believe. I'm sorry. I believe after issue 14 is when they start focusing on the C-137 Rick. Um, one episode or issues 1 through 13 is all C-132. So it takes place in a different dimension, but I'm not going to, spoil it for those who haven't read it at this time. I'll spoil that later on. But yeah, basically after season 14 is when they start focusing on uh, the C-137 Rick. So once we get more into that, you know what I'm saying? Once we get more into the comics and stuff like that, we're going to break it down from comic to comic. Just like we do in episode to episode, we're going to break it down comic to comic once we get to that portion, because, we got like 3-4 different series of Rick and Morty comics that are all canons, that all link together, man. So that's gonna be fucking dope, bro. But um as far as what I mean, as far as what to look forward to, like I said, man, we got 9 weeks until season 5 premiere of Rick and Morty. So that's a long 9 weeks for us fans. Like I said, we've been watching this shit over and over. We've been watching the same episodes. We know them by heart. We got our favorite characters and all that. So we gonna keep bringing the characters. Like I said, we're gonna get on the IG. I'm gonna give all that information later on. But you know we're gonna bring everything Rick and Morty to life. You know what I'm saying? And you're gonna see like everything. As this show develops, man. We're gonna bring a lot of this Rick and Morty shit to life. I got a lot of as the fan base builds up, we're gonna do a lot of stuff. I look forward into since the fans, once I build that fan base into support, I want to support the fan base. So I'll do like giveaways and raffles, things like that. You know what I mean? So I do look forward to that. And as far as next week goes, the main topic for next week we're looking at is the old man in the seat. So that's season 4, episode 2. Yep, season 4, episode 2. For y'all that know it, this is the episode where Rick gets pissed off because he has to share his toilet. Yeah. So we definitely gonna get into that, man, and that's definitely gonna be a fun episode. There's a lot of talk about in that episode, man, and I think it's gonna be a fun one to talk about, man. I definitely got a few favorite characters in that one, so it's gonna be hard to pick which one is my favorite. Takeaways, there's so many, so I'm gonna have to try to break down which is the biggest. But as far as comparisons and metaphors, we're gonna have. I'm gonna try to do try to bring those metaphors and comparisons a little more to life next week, and just so you can see what it looks like from what Rick and Morty created to what's happening in real life, man, and to show how a lot of this shit that people take serious is a fucking joke. So I look forward to next week. Like I said, as of right now, we don't have a set date, or I don't have a set date on which days these episodes are going to come out. You know what I mean? They're still kind of fluctuating a little bit. Today, I wanted to get it out because, like I said, it is 420. I had to get it out. You know what I mean? But I am looking between Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Um, It'll probably be in the evening times. We will be live every episode. We also have, we're also going to put it on a podcast, for those that listen to the podcast. I'm going to have all that information, right now. Bam, there we go. There's the Instagram. There's my Instagram, my personal, you know what I mean? That's where all you can find all NR originals, that's the Autumn Wind Breeze, Rickle Me Pick. I got a few other things coming out. So be looking out for that. I got the YouTube right there, NR Originals. I got the Twitter right there, NR_originals. And then, of course, you can find the main Rickle Me Pick page where you can, submit questions, you know what I mean, comments, do all that. You'll be able to find out more information about, like, giveaways and raffles that are coming up. We'll have like surveys and shit about, what we want to talk about, what characters we thought are the best and shit like that, man. So it's gonna be fun, man. Like I said, as the show develops, man, and more ideas create, and we get a better grasp of things. Like the show is gonna be it's gonna be a fun one, man. So I appreciate everybody that's came today, everybody that's listened today. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you follow. You know what I mean? It'll be up on the YouTube page, right after this. You know what I mean? It'll be saved up on there. So make sure you go check that out. If you weren't able to check it out live, make sure you pass it to a homie or whatever. I appreciate everybody that's tuned in. Like I said, my name is NR, and you have listened to the very first episode of Rickle Me Pick. I'll see y'all next week.